Most men don't lose women because they're bad guys. They lose women because they reveal too much too soon. You might think being open, vulnerable, and expressive makes you look genuine. But what if I told you that the very things you confess are the same things that slowly kill her attraction for you? See, attraction doesn't die in a day. It dies in small, quiet moments. When she starts to see you as predictable, emotionally exposed and easy to figure out, that's when she begins to pull away little by little, until you're left wondering what went wrong. But here's the truth most men never hear. It's not what you do that turns her off, it's what you reveal. In this video, I'm going to break down 4 things you should never let a woman know, not because you're hiding, but because mystery, restraint, and silence are what keep a woman's respect and desire alive. So stay with me till the end, because the last one is what separates the men she forgets from the men she never recovers from. Let's begin. 1. Never let a woman know how much you love her. Here's the raw truth, brother. Love is powerful, but in the wrong hands it can make you powerless. The moment she knows exactly how much you love her, the dynamic changes. You stop being a man she earns and become a man she owns. You see, women are drawn to men they admire, men who have control over their emotions, men whose love feels like a gift, not a guarantee. But the moment you hand her your heart too soon, she subconsciously asks herself, why was it this easy? Why didn't he make me earn this? And that's when curiosity turns into comfort, comfort turns into boredom, and boredom turns into distance. Most men don't understand this. They think love is something you prove, when in reality love is something you protect. Let me make it plain, you don't have to say you love her for her to feel it. She can sense it in your tone, in your gaze, in your need for her validation. Your eyes reveal more than your mouth ever will. That's why you must keep your balance. Love her, but never lose yourself in the process. Because once she senses that your emotions have taken over your logic, she starts to see you as someone she can control. And a woman can't fully love the man she controls. But here's where most men fail. They think expressing love deeply makes them emotionally strong, when in truth the strongest love is the love that doesn't need to prove itself. Stay composed. Let your actions show care, not desperation. A man's love is sacred when it's rare, not when it's repeated. And that leads to the next mistake, the one that slowly drains your masculine power without you even noticing. 2. Never tell a woman how she makes you feel. This one hits deep because it sounds innocent. You're just being real. You're just expressing yourself. But here's the danger. The moment you say you make me feel complete, or you make me so happy, you've just handed her a mirror and told her that your peace depends on her reflection. Now your mood is no longer yours. She knows she can lift you up or break you down with a single text, and that emotional control kills her attraction faster than anything. Women are emotional beings. They live in their feelings, but they fall for men who are rooted, grounded, and unshaken. A man whose emotions aren't swayed by her attention or absence. That's why when she says she wants a man in touch with his feelings, she doesn't mean a man who explains them. She means a man who can control them. When you tell a woman how she makes you feel, you're handing her emotional leverage. She now knows what buttons to press to test your strength. And whether she means to or not, she will press them, because that's how women measure a man's emotional frame. A woman's respect for you is built on stability. When she sees you're reactive, she feels unsafe. Not because you'll hurt her, but because she can't trust your strength to hold the relationship steady. Brother, listen. She doesn't fall in love with a man who tells her everything he feels. She falls in love with a man whose emotions are like a locked vault. Not cold, but calm. Not distant, but disciplined. Let her feel your energy, not hear your emotions. Because when you're calm, collected, and grounded, she feels protected. And that's when her attraction grows quietly, deeply, without words. But here's why the next point matters even more. Because if you break this one, you don't just lose attraction, you lose respect. 3. Never tell a woman she's the best thing that's ever happened to you. Sounds romantic, right? It sounds like what love songs tell you to say. But in reality, this line destroys more relationships than cheating ever will. When you tell a woman she's the best thing in your life, you've just revealed that your world revolves around her. And once she becomes your center, she stops spinning around you. You've made her your emotional god, and no woman wants that role for long. Because deep down, women crave polarity. They want a man whose life has gravity, whose purpose pulls her in, not his praise. When you tell her she's the best thing that's ever happened to you, you think you're showing devotion. But what you're really showing is dependence. You've told her that your happiness, your peace, your sense of worth all depend on her presence. And that pressure suffocates attraction. She might smile when you say it, but inside a switch flips. She starts to see you differently. Not as the man she's chasing, but as the man she's already conquered. That's why she starts losing interest for no reason. She stops texting first. She gets colder. And you sit there wondering, what did I do wrong? It wasn't what you did. It's what you said. Women are drawn to men who choose them, not men who worship them. The man who can love her deeply while still walking away if he's disrespected. That's the man who haunts her forever. So never make her the best thing in your life. Make her part of a life that's already rich, full, and meaningful. Let your purpose stay bigger than your relationship. Because once she realizes you can live without her, that's when she'll fight the hardest to stay. 4. Never tell a woman you've been heartbroken before. Now this is the most dangerous one because it feels honest. It feels human. And that's why it catches men off guard. You might think that by sharing your pain you're showing vulnerability, that it'll make her see your depth. But what you've really done is expose your weak spot. You've just told her that you've been emotionally broken before, which means in her mind you can be broken again, and women, consciously or not, will test that. They'll push to see if that weakness still lives inside you. They'll pull away, ignore your message, question your worth, just to see how much of that old wound still controls you. Not because she's cruel, but because women are naturally drawn to strength. And the moment they sense that you still carry emotional scars, they instinctively question your ability to lead and protect. When you say, "I've been heartbroken," she doesn't hear your pain, she hears your pattern. She hears that you once lost control. And if it happened once, it could happen again. You don't need to tell her your past. Let her see your composure. Let her feel that whatever broke you once forged you into steel. A man's mystery isn't manipulation, it's magnetism. When you carry silence about your past, you're not hiding. You're showing that your peace doesn't depend on pity. The man who's healed doesn't talk about his heartbreak. He walks like it never happened. So, brother, protect that calm, guard that silence. Because a woman should never know your emotional scars, only your strength. At the end of the day, it's not about lying to women. It's about mastering yourself. A woman doesn't fall for your honesty. She falls for your energy, your stillness, your control, your quiet confidence. The more she knows, the less she wonders. And the less she wonders, the quicker she loses interest. So remember these 4 truths. Never let her know how much you love her. Never tell her how she makes you feel. Never tell her she's the best thing in your life. And never tell her you've been heartbroken. Because the more predictable you become, the less powerful you are. Your mystery is your magnetism. Your silence is your strength, and your composure is your crown. So stay focused, stay grounded, and protect your peace. Because that's what separates the men she forgets from the men she never gets over. If this message hit you deep, brother, drop a comment saying, "I choose control." Hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, your silence is not weakness. It's the language of power.